the monarchy provides, with the Constitution, a degree of long-term stability that is actually quite hard to come by any other way.
Imagine being the Queen of England and still being told you cannot enter a room. That is exactly what sources close to the royal family say is quietly being discussed behind palace doors. Princess Anne, known as the determined Princess Royal, has reportedly taken legal steps to secure a private wing of the Sandringham estate. By doing so, she has effectively blocked Queen Camilla's plans to use that area as a secluded summer retreat at one of Britain's most treasured royal residences. What appears at first to be a simple property disagreement may actually reveal a deeper struggle unfolding inside the royal family. To understand why this conflict matters, it helps to understand what Sandringham truly represents. It is not just a country house. For many people, it symbolizes the heart and long-standing traditions of the British monarchy. The Sandringham estate stretches across nearly 20,000 acres of parkland in Norfolk, about 110 miles north of London. It was first purchased in 1862 by Queen Victoria as a gift for her son, the future King Edward VII. Unlike many royal residences, Sandringham is not part of the Crown estate and does not belong to the state. It is private property that passes directly from one monarch to the next. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in September 2022, ownership of the estate was transferred directly to King Charles III. For generations, the estate has served as one of the royal family's most meaningful gathering places. It is where the family traditionally celebrates Christmas and where Queen Elizabeth II spent her final days. Beyond the main Sandringham House, the estate includes several historic residences scattered across its grounds. These include Wood Farm, Anmer Hall, Park House, The Folly, and multiple working farms. One of those properties, Marsh Farm, is reportedly where Prince Andrew has been living after leaving Royal Lodge in Windsor. For generations, members of the royal family maintained informal agreements about access to different parts of the estate. These arrangements were rarely written down and were usually handled privately between family members. But in recent years, those long-standing understandings have begun to change. Agreements are becoming more formal and increasingly tense. When members of the royal family begin involving lawyers, it usually means the old gentleman's agreements have completely broken down. Before looking at Princess Anne's legal move, it is important to understand the relationship between her and Queen Camilla. Their tension did not begin recently. Reports suggest it dates back to the 1970s, when Camilla Parker Bowles first became involved with Prince Charles. That relationship later contributed to the collapse of Charles's marriage to Diana, Princess of Wales, and created deep divisions inside the royal family. Princess Anne is widely considered one of the hardest working members of the royal family. She carries out more official engagements each year than almost any other royal. She is known for being disciplined, direct, and highly committed to duty, and rarely seeks media attention and has long been viewed as one of the strongest pillars of the modern monarchy. Camilla's path into the royal family was very different. She entered the institution during one of its most controversial public scandals. For many years, she remained unpopular with sections of the British public and with several senior royals, including Anne. Although Camilla has spent years improving her public image, the tension between her and Anne has never completely disappeared. Recently, insiders have described their relationship as a quiet Cold War that sometimes turns into open disagreement. One palace source reportedly said Anne believes Camilla sometimes pushes beyond her proper role, while Camilla believes Anne struggles to separate family loyalty from practical judgment. That long-standing mistrust has now found a physical battleground, the Sandringham estate itself. The conflict also connects to another major figure in the royal family, Prince Andrew. In October 2025, King Charles III formally stripped his younger brother of his remaining royal titles and honors. Andrew had already faced intense controversy after his widely criticized interview discussing his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. After losing his royal privileges, Andrew was moved from Royal Lodge near Windsor to Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate. Then, on February 19, 2026, the situation escalated dramatically. On the morning of his 66th birthday, Prince Andrew was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Unmarked police cars arrived at Sandringham while searches were carried out simultaneously at Wood Farm and Royal Lodge. Andrew was taken to a police station in Eltham and held for approximately 11 hours before being released under investigation. The moment was historic. It marked the first arrest of a sibling of a reigning monarch. Since the Tudor period, King Charles III responded with a brief statement saying the law must take its course. At this point, Princess Anne reportedly became more directly involved. Sources say she has quietly advocated for Andrew, urging the family to ensure he is treated with dignity during the investigation. Reports suggest she has raised concerns about his mental health with both King Charles and Prince William. Some insiders even describe Anne as the driving force behind a private effort to ensure Andrew is not completely abandoned by the family. Queen Camilla, however, is said to have taken a much harder stance. Sources claim she believes any show of family solidarity toward Andrew could damage the monarchy's already fragile reputation. This disagreement expanded into practical questions about access and space within Sandringham. That is where Princess Anne's legal move comes into focus. According to reports, Anne's lawyers formally documented her family's long-standing usage rights over a particular wing of the Sandringham estate. This does not mean she is claiming ownership of property belonging to the king. Instead, it legally formalizes traditional arrangements about how certain parts of the estate are used. Such arrangements are common on large hereditary estates across Britain. Families often create formal occupancy agreements when long-standing informal understandings begin to break down. By bringing in lawyers, Anne has created a legal record that cannot easily be ignored by palace administrators. It also sends a clear message within the royal family that she intends to protect the space traditionally used. By her household, the timing of this move is also significant. Sandringham House normally closes to the public between mid-July and early August. During that period, the royal family often gathers there privately. Reports suggest discussions had been underway about how parts of the estate might be used during the summer. One idea reportedly involved Queen Camilla spending time in a private wing of the estate while King Charles stayed at Balmoral in Scotland. By formalizing her family's usage rights, Princess Anne effectively blocked that possibility. For the area in question, sources say Camilla was furious about the development, although the palace has not commented publicly. To understand why this matters to Camilla, it helps to look at her relationship with private homes. For many years, her favorite retreat was Ray Mill House in Wiltshire. She purchased the property in 1995 after her divorce from Andrew Parker Bowles. The house became her personal sanctuary away from royal life. In early 2026, reports suggested Camilla had quietly transferred ownership of the property. This raised speculation that she might be relying more on royal residences instead. Around the same time, King Charles reportedly purchased a nearby property in Wiltshire for approximately £3 million. With Balmoral strongly associated with Charles's summers, Sandringham began to look like a natural alternative retreat for Camilla. It would offer privacy, gardens, and distance from the intense public attention of London. However, Princess Anne's legal move appears to have closed that option for at least one part of the estate. A door has effectively been closed, leaving the Queen outside it. This development places King Charles in a difficult position. He now finds himself caught between two strong personalities, his sister Princess Anne and his wife Queen Camilla. At the same time, he continues to deal with health challenges and wider pressures facing the monarchy. Prince Andrew's arrest and Prince Harry's ongoing legal battles with the media continue to keep the royal family in the spotlight. Sources say Charles is reluctant to intervene directly in the dispute. He deeply values Anne's loyalty and support during his illness. At the same time, Camilla remains a central emotional support in his daily life. Royal aides say both women are strong-willed and neither is likely to back down easily. For now, the king has chosen silence. But silence in royal politics rarely resolves conflict permanently. Instead, it often delays a confrontation that eventually resurfaces. At Sandringham, that conflict has now entered legal territory. The issue therefore extends beyond a simple summer retreat. It raises questions about how the royal family manages property, influence, and personal relationships. For generations, Sandringham has served as the emotional center of the monarchy. It is where the family gathers each Christmas and where several historic royal moments have occurred. Queen Elizabeth II famously loved the estate and spent long periods there each year. The involvement of lawyers suggests that the family's internal trust may be weakening. Instead of relying on informal understanding, members are turning to legal protections. Princess Anne appears to believe the era of informal agreements has ended. By formalizing usage rights, she has drawn a clear boundary around space she considers linked to her household. Queen Camilla, however, is not known for backing down easily. After decades of public criticism, she has become more confident in her role within the monarchy. Because of that, many observers believe she is unlikely to accept the situation quietly. The question now is whether she will escalate the dispute or find another solution. Meanwhile, Prince Andrew remains at Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate. He is still under investigation and has lost his royal titles. Reports suggest he has been struggling with his mental health during this period. Although Anne continues to advocate for him privately, the monarchy has maintained a firm public distance. Sandringham has witnessed decades of royal history, from celebrations to scandals. Now it has become the setting for another struggle within the House of Windsor. This conflict is not unfolding in dramatic public scenes. Instead, it is developing quietly through legal paperwork and private decisions. Princess Anne has drawn a clear line. The question is whether anyone inside the royal family will challenge it. The situation also reflects a broader issue about influence within the monarchy. At a time when King Charles appears reluctant to take sides, powerful figures inside the family are shaping events themselves. The result is a royal family bound together by duty but strained by disagreement, and it raises one final question. Can one of the monarchy's most private and historic homes survive becoming a legal battleground? If you found this story interesting, consider liking the video, subscribing for more updates, and sharing your thoughts below. Do you believe Princess Anne was right to take legal action, or has she crossed a line that could deepen divisions within the royal family? We will see you next time.